Looking back on my first gig in Tamworth would actually be just outside of town in Moonbi. My granddad, Rex Dallas, had a property which he used to host his own sort of festival day shows out there called the Moonbi Gully Roundup. So I remember like Pete Dennehy, Diana Corcoran, all congregating at my pop's property and with all my family as well. And it was just this stage set out on the top of the creek. And that's where I really got my apprenticeship with music. And it's so heartfelt to think that it's been a lot of years out there, and that then went into the barn days with my granddad. But my first gig in an actual venue in Tamworth was out at the pub on Gunnedah Road, again with my family there. My dad, Brett Dallas, had his band playing, and I was pretty lucky that I was just able to join the stage, and I think I was about 6 on the pub stage.
My first gig was at the Imperial Hotel, and I was in a blues band called Chasing the Train. And we came up from Sydney, and we didn't play country music. We played kind of funky New Orleans sort of bluesy stuff. And we went off really well. So my first experience of Tamworth country music was me actually playing not country music. But it was certain countries, and so that's sort of my first experience was the Imperial with Chasing the Train all those years ago.
The first time I ever came to Tamworth was the year that I actually won a recording contract and a management deal, and it changed my entire life. It was called Road to Tamworth in 2008. It's a bit cheesy, but my favourite memory has to be the very first time I ever stepped foot on Peel Street and got to see what it was all about. The buskers, the bustling people, the country music everywhere.
All right, so the Bushwhackers' first gig in Tamworth was 1979 in the Tamworth Town Hall. We didn't come as part of the festival, we came on an Arts Council tour, but then we came back for the first time at the awards in 1981 when we were nominated for a Golden Guitar.
What was my first gig in Tamworth? Well, to be honest, I was a pretty seasoned kind of musician by the time I got up to Tamworth, and I thought, oh, I'll just come up and play somewhere, and I couldn't even get a spot on Peel Street. No joke, I was trying to squeeze in, and I ended up getting a spot in front of a fish and chip shop. It was about 43 degrees outside, and I was between a man dressed up in an Indian outfit and an Indian as well, I think. They gave me water as payment. I was pretty happy with that.
I think my very first gig at the festival, I guess you would consider busking my first gig. Every year I'd come to Tamworth and busk, so I started busking when I was 4 years old out on Peel Street. So been doing it for a while now.
So our first gig in Tamworth was many, many years ago. We used to busk on Peel Street, of course. And one year we were tiny little chipmunks. I think I was about 12, 11 years old.
Yeah, I would have been 9. Lachlan in the middle there.
I don't remember how old I was.
And we ended up coming top 10 in the busking competition, which we didn't know at the time that when you get a busking permit, you automatically entered into the busking competition, and we got to play on the big Toyota Park stage for the first time. It was the biggest crowd we'd ever played to at that point. And that was our first, I guess, official gig, and then we've been coming back ever since. And you know, a big gig for us was last year as well when we performed at the Golden Guitar Awards and were nominated. So we love coming to Tamworth, and it's always been such a game changer for us.
My first gig in Tamworth was a showcase for artists from my local area at the Ibis Styles Hotel.
Oh, my first involvement was pre-festival actually in designing and producing posters for Radio 2DM when they first were bringing country music artists through to the town. But 1975 was my first set that I built for the Country Music Awards.
First gig at TCMF would have to have been the fan zone stage. And I was made feel very welcome. I remember very clearly it was Ray McCoy that came up to me straight after my set and couldn't have made me feel any more welcome, and it's a great memory. Had an absolute blast.
My first gig at festival started on Peel Street busking, and then I started singing in the shopping centres, and then I guess my first actual gig would have been at Legends at West Tamworth Leagues Club, and I think at the time I got paid $300 per show, and we used to sit up there and play each night, and by the time I paid the musicians, I was actually losing $150 per night to play, so not a very smart financial decision, but God, it used to be great fun.